Welcome to Manage Your Waste for the Summer, the podcast that's all about keeping Jamaica clean and green. In this episode, we dive into the fascinating world of waste management, exploring the importance of taking care of our environment. Nickoy, being the regional investigator, can you just shortly discuss your role or the role of enforcing the Solid Waste Act as it relates to getting compliance?
All right, so my role in enforcing the Solid Waste Act of 2001 is to predominantly go and assess breaches under this act. Also, in terms of compliance, majority of the persons who need to be compliant to this act would come from the commercial arm of business, ensure that they have their contracts in place, to ensure that they are storing their waste properly. They are not using informal dump sites or illegal dump sites, and that the type of waste that they are produced are being collected by the correct hauler. We have several instances where education in terms of compliance is a major challenge because persons will cry ignorant when the enforcement team will come down on them for breaches under the act. The biggest side to the act is to actually know the act inside out. It's a lot that it comes with. It also holds not only the producer of the waste accountable, but the person who actually does the illegal dumping of the waste. So there are several facets of the act, some stronger than others, some that needs to be amended, which the process of amending this act is currently underway. Also with the fines, those are being amended as well.
All right. So on a daily basis, can you just outline some of the things that you and your team would do on an ideal day?
On an ideal day, the happenings will vary because the stuff that we have to do as an enforcement team will be broad. The first thing that we like to do on any given morning is to do patrol in an area. For enforcement, if you're not on the ground predominantly, you will not know what's happening. It's not a department that can be run directly from the office. You have to know where the dump sites are, persons who are in breach, where breaches can be detected, predominantly what is happening outside there. We go from as simple as throwing garbage through the car windows to walking on the street, dropping garbage. We cannot sit in the office and detect this. Another challenge that we have is that we cannot be in all areas at once or every area at a time. So that's why we try as much as possible to engage the public so that they can send us the information as to the breaches, because once a breach is committed, we can definitely take it for it. So we would like to start off with patrolling. During patrols, we will get different breaches or different ideas of what is happening out there. After patrolling, whatever information that we would have gathered, whether we would comb a dump site, we will find commercial waste or waste that leads to somebody specifically, that we can actually engage that person and deal with them accordingly. We would do that afterwards. Also, we do for WPM assess and remove derelict vehicles from the roadway. So from time to time, we would have to travel a certain street based on information. A lot of the times, while on patrol, we would have to tag these vehicles so that the owners may react to the notice. If there is no reaction to that notice, then over time we would follow the process, then remove it from the area and take it to the landfill. Also, the enforcement department from time to time will assist other departments based on with our numbers and also with the use of our manpower when it comes on to like I'm pretty much just assisting with heavy lifting. If it is that sometimes if there's an injury, we are closest to that injury, we'll go assess the situation, neutralize the situation, and also transport to hospital or medical facility if needs be. So it is pretty much a broad spectrum. Our primary aim is not only to charge, but to educate. If we find you in breach, if we do administer a charge based on the breach that we detected and based on the Solid Waste Act, we will also educate. A lot of persons would say that if they are charged by somebody, it would be a feeling of bad blood or whatever. But based on my tenure here, I'm not seeing where that was ever the case. It's a case where persons are even more willing to work with the team because we will assess what they do have and help them from where they stand to say that, look, you are in breach of this, but we have to charge you. However, going forward, this is what it should be. And that's how we boost compliance, because we have to have contact with people. So we have to be on the road, we have to detect the breaches, we have to decide the way going forwards. And a lot of times the persons who would be in breach after we have engaged them, they do not regress back into malpractices that they would have.
Perfect. So the enforcement team has a lot doing. And finally, for you, what are some of like the weirdest things you have found? Because we know you do dumpster diving. When you go through and you find the waste, what are some of the weirdest things that you have found in the illegal dump site?
Weird is such a wide term to use, but in terms of stuff that would be pretty much unusual.
That God.
I don't want it to be weird, but the sad reality of it is that we've found medical waste. Notwithstanding any barrier in terms of to say that it was assessed at any given point, or at least say that some serious aspects of it. We found the gauze, we found needles, we found syringes, we found all of that stuff.
So what is the maximum fine for something like this?
All right, so the maximum fine as it goes to... So there's a process. We in office can go ahead and administer a fine based on a ticket. However, for certain cases, it goes directly through the resident magistrate court, where a fine of $1 million and in some instances, a fine of 1.5 million is administered based on the breach if you are found guilty. And a lot of the major fines, though, for some entities that are committing these breaches are even less than a slap on the wrist. So that is one of the things, or one of the push by the administration to actually get these fines amended, because a lot of these things, we need stronger deterrents so that when persons commit these breaches, it's a case where it's something that they'll never want to do again.
Perfect. So Mr. Dunkley, over to you now. As an officer at the disposal site, the final disposal site, what do you guys do on a normal day? What happens there on a normal day?
Aside from day-to-day regular dumping or disposal of waste, we have to check the cells for accommodation. If rain falls, everything changes. The ground changes. We have to make sure we have more on the ground just to kind of patch up the areas for the betterment of the landfill. Right now, we have to monitor certain tractors. Sometimes they tend to break down. That is our biggest challenge. Equipment and the downtime. And the worst time is when they're down in the rainy season. And remember, the waste doesn't stop, The waste doesn't stop. It keeps coming. Even if we have nowhere to put the waste, it's still coming in. So what we have to do is just call up me, Omar, or Mr. Brissett, and just scour the place and see where else we have about the space we can accommodate some trucks there. accommodate some trucks here or whatever. Another thing that we don't like to happen is fire. So when there's a fire, it's restless days or restless nights. And something like, a lot of people don't look at the work that we have to do when there is a fire. And the danger which the smoke causes, because we don't worry about the fire, Okay, you can't see the fire, you see the smoke when it's a stretch go down an injury, right? So that is our issue, the biggest issue of the landfill. Aside from that, it's just monitoring our staff and make sure everybody understands their duty and everybody is on site on that specific time. Make sure the shifts are covered and the trucks are just to eliminate the lines at the gate. Make sure we sign the books, sign the tickets, detect any truck that are trying to sneak in the landfill. Because sometimes the security or the tally clerk is dealing with another truck, and you have trucks who sneak and come up and try fly through. No, try use them to get there. You understand? And sometimes they don't even know where to go and tip, because not every waste we tip in the same area. And depending on the waste, we have a specific area for the waste. So if it's metal, we have a metal cell. If it's household waste, we have a cell for that also. If it's hotel waste, we have a cell for that. We try our best to do as much separation as possible. We're not perfect, but we try our best.
What I would say finally is this. What I've realized being in enforcement for the time that I've been is that a lot of the bigger side of the problem is ignorance. A lot of persons are ignorant to the law. A lot of persons are ignorant to the fact that, hey, look, Jamaica wants to move into a direction that is better as it pertains to waste management. I would like to see Jamaicans foster a mentality where they are willing to actually acknowledge where we're at with waste management and want to see us go to first world status. There are too many persons who you will find with illegal dumping, and they'll be like, hey, this is how I known it from I was a child. So that's why I take my waste and I put it there. And sad to say, I still have to charge you, but I would like for you to go ahead and educate yourself.
Remember, it's time to manage your waste and make the summer great. Tune in next time for some garbage gossip and recycling revelations. Keep it clean, Jamaica.